Hey everybody, how's it going? Sorry about the late start. Hopefully it doesn't mess up anybody's evening.
Well, there we are.
Here we are.
I've got a little different angle today.
Yeah, and it looks like we're like facing each other right now.
Oh yeah, look at that.
That's kind of
well,
funny.
I did put the camera on this side because I was thinking like, oh well, if this is going to be like a setup for long term, I was thinking like, oh well, this would have me looking at the TV.
Right.
I think. Yeah.
Yeah. It works.
The TV for the main layout, the gaming layout.
Right.
No, this is not a new room. This is my office / game collection room.
Yeah.
This is just my normal main computer setup. This is where I sit, during the day, most days. But I want to start recording my B-roll here with this mic here. So this mic was already gone, or not my B-roll, my VO with this mic here. So that's set up now, and I was changing how things are set up downstairs, and I kind of just thought, well, for being the co-host when I'm not the one playing, I thought this would be kind of a better and easier environment to do that role in. So
yeah. Why is it saying again? Like it's saying that the bitrate is way too high. And like I think that something happens that prevents it from it rolls back for some reason.
It doesn't save it.
It hasn't been saving it.
Maybe you need to change it before you start streaming for it to save.
I do.
That's bizarre.
Yes.
No more trying from across the room. Well,
it should be 8,000, right? Or 8,000 is like max, right?
That should be fine. I usually do lower, but you have better internet, so
yeah. All right, so I gotta stop streaming and resume it really quick.
Oh, I thought update that in real time. I thought you got that to update.
No, I mean I
thought it automatically did that last time you had to change it.
I thought it did, but it didn't.
Oh. Okay.
All right.
Okay, it looked like we came back quite quickly, I think.
Yeah, I just toggled it on and off. And hopefully everything looks good.
Yep, it looked quite seamless.
Yeah.
The bitrate is too high because this stream is too real to be real.
That's what it says. Oh, it's so we had to start a little bit late, is my fault. So my wife and daughter went to New York for her 10th birthday this week. They left on Thursday, and it's just been me and my son for an extended amount of time, which is something we've never done before. Yeah. It was fun. It was fun. We started out.
I saw you. I don't know what system you were playing on, but I think I was on Discord that said you were playing Sonic Forces.
Yeah. We had only. I mean, my son has only really played like some of the old Sonics, like the first level of old Sonics. And he's like, oh, I really want to play a 3D Sonic. And I wasn't quite sure what to go with. And I gave him a choice. I said, here's, like Sonic Generations, Sonic Forces, Sonic Unleashed. And he chose Sonic Forces. And we literally played through the entire story together.
Really? Wow.
In a day.
Was it any good?
I mean, I don't know. It wasn't great, but you know what? It was he loved it because he didn't really have anything to gauge it against, and he just had an awesome time with it. He loved it.
What system did you have it for?
You got to turn off the autofocus on your camera, by the way.
Oh.
We were playing it on Xbox.
Was
on
it
the
an
Series X. So it was like
autofocus
4K.
issue?
But you know what? The thing is like Sonic Adventure would have been cool. Like there's plenty of other things that could have been cool, but this was just really streamlined in a way that made it easy for like new players and first time players of Sonic games to enjoy it. And I think that's the only time I played was when I think it might have been like the last level. And also, like, some of the boss fights.
Oh, so it wasn't a co-op thing?
Nope. It was changed. Okay. Like, he played through most of it. And I just, like, had to jump in and take down some of the bosses sometimes. And then the last level. And, like, fight the last boss. So it was very much just him doing it. And the game is pretty forgiving, with checkpoints and stuff. And there's no, like, lives or anything like that. Because after we finished it, then we did the free episode Shadow DLC.
Oh yeah. And
then afterwards, he's like, "Oh, can I play? Can I try Sonic Generations now?" And like he was immediately stressed out by the fact that there were lives. Like immediately stressed out. And I think that like that made him not want to play it very much.
I mean, my cousin's son, I mean, he was a lot older. I mean, he was probably a teenager by then, but he played like half of Sonic Generations at my house, several years ago.
People are saying that the audio is cutting out. Is it still happening? So it might
I saw one person say that. Someone said refreshed and the audio breakup stopped.
All right. Well, audio seems fine now, but let me know.
Maybe it's because of how we had to restart the stream, and maybe you just need to refresh the page too.
Yeah. Sorry about that.
No, so sounds like it's good for almost everyone.
Yeah. So, I mean, I guess moral of the story is if Sonic Forces is your first Sonic game, then it's great. And
you don't play Sonic at all in that one, right?
No, you do.
Oh, okay.
You play as Sonic and like this Sonic and this custom character.
Mm-hmm.
That's just like it looks like garbage, really. And the whole thing. But you can customize. You can like create a character, right? And it's fun. And like after every level, you get like accessories and stuff. Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And by the end, it was just really interesting, like watching like what he chose to like dress this custom character up like.
So this was on the Xbox.
Yeah.
And I was able to see that you were playing it via Discord. Is there?
I know there's a way you can link it. But... Like I think that I have it linked.
Yeah, I had no idea you could do that. But speaking of custom characters, my mind was absolutely blown today. Did you watch the GameSack episode?
No, not yet.
There's this game that it's like it's some racing game that he said takes place in Hawaii. And like I assume this was like a character creator, or you could select from like a small handful of characters, but it's like this really ugly looking, I think relatively early Xbox 360 game. And like the character he is playing as looks like more like him than any other like character creator I have ever seen like look like another human being. Like it's like really hideous looking game, but for some reason that character looks exactly like Joe.
Is it so? It was a custom character, or was it just like a character in the game?
I don't know. He just said like he's just like, oh yeah, and I'm in this game. It's like it is so funny. Luca is saying it's Test Drive Unlimited.
Okay.
It must have been a character creator, but like I can't imagine the game has like a very robust character creation system.
Yeah.
But somehow like you can make a character that looks exactly like Joe Rediker.
I'll check it out. Like I really want to watch it with the 5.1 surround.
Oh yeah, I did not watch with the surround sound. I have to apologize.
I just want to see, how it sounds. So I guess I'll get to the game. So I'm going to be playing Battle Mania, also known in the US.
You have a fun story for why you even have the ability to play a real cartridge of this.
Yeah, I think I talked about it in a previous stream, but this was some Mega Drive games came into a local game store, and there was several things that I wanted, and I asked John Linneman if he had this, because I know he has a pretty big Mega Drive collection. I wondered if this was something, if it was a good price on this, and he was like, "Oh, I don't have that. I want it," and it's a local store. So, and John is originally from here, and he's going to be back here in the middle of summer. So I'm like, well, why don't you buy it and I'll pick it up and I'll hang on to it for you.
Yeah.
So this was the game. So I was like, I'm going to stream this because, how often would I have a chance to, probably never again would I have a chance to, stream
play a real
cartridge of this game.
Yeah. Now, I guess there's a sequel that is considered one of the rarest games for the system.
Yeah, and it's it's $1,500 or something like that.
Wow.
Yeah.
But this is, this is a pricey game itself.
Right.
US and Japanese versions, I think. So this is called Battle Mania.
I think the US version is I think it's more expensive than this version, but significantly more expensive.
I would assume so. I see Cerulean. I saw this mentioned earlier, saying, and saying again, no Super Famicom stomping in this one. So what's this deal with? There's apparently some sort of secret stomping a Super Famicom in this. That sounds amusing.
Oh, I don't know. All right, well, we're gonna try normal. Start off with normal.
Yeah, see how it goes. What controller are you using there?
I'm using the Crix Joys.
Oh, I don't think I've ever gotten to use one of those.
I'm gonna skip the story stuff.
Oh, the Super Famicom Stomp is in the sequel. Okay. Is it
do they stomp on a system or something?
I don't know. That sounds pretty funny though. I see it in the lower left corner there. I saw it in some of the demos. There's little ships with the big window on them. They kind of make me think of they make me think of the little bots with the legs in Turrican. Yeah, those little things that are dropping the weapon icons.
I don't know if this has unlimited continues in this version, or if this is if it's harder in the US or harder than the US version or easier.
Yeah, what is that? What is that, Sandy?
But it's
why
fun.
Why don't you just hang it there? What is it?
What
is that?
It's suspended there. So
just floating.
What's funny is that you saw me playing Sonic Forces also, and when I started playing it, John sent me a message and he was just like, Sonic Forces? And I had to explain it, and he's like, oh, have you gotten to the part where he talks about how Sonic has been tortured? And that happens right after the first level, right after the intro, right?
Wow.
And I just think it's funny that it's they say he's been tortured for months, and I think Amy says, that's low, even for Eggman.
Oh man, that's funny.
But whatever. I mean, the game is pretty janky, but it was I got it at Target. I think it was on clearance, so probably it was $10. So the time spent with us playing that was well worth that $10, I think.
Yeah.
People really like that, the story you tell about like how I'm always like, you should get that. People mention that a lot,
Yeah,
You know.
I actually I need to clean off the sticker residue on this, but I went to Second and Charles the other day.
Yeah.
Death Day, actually.
Oh, that's a couple of good ones. That Rise to Honor. I'm pretty sure that one is
grabbed by the ghoulies style.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's the reason I got it. I actually brought like, we are not as crazy about physical movies as we are about physical games,
Yeah.
And I just kind of wanted to clean some shelf space off of my movies, and so I was like, I'm just going to take some of my movies to Second and Charles. I know they're going to give me like nothing for it, but like just going to get rid of them.
Yeah.
And I'll just buy a couple of games because their prices really aren't that good. But they did have those 2 games, and they were reasonably priced enough, so I spent my credit on that. Like I traded in like 19 DVDs and Blu-rays, and I got like $10 store credit.
Oh, geez. Anything like really notable?
Oh no! I mean, why? I wouldn't have traded it if it was notable.
What is this about right here? I didn't realize there was going to be so much story in this.
This strikes me as one of the things where they might have cut the story out of the US version. They like to do that.
Yeah, I'm just going with random things here. I don't really know which is good or not.
Dan the Elf says, "Oh no, I'm a film school grad and I insist on physical for my movies." I mean, part of it was like, like a lot of it was just, most of it was movies. And it's just like, like so many of these movies, like I can't actually see myself watching in a DVD format. Like I would rather stream it. And like, I think I've said this before, like if I was going to watch a DVD, like I would want to watch it on a CRT. And if I was going to watch it on a CRT, like this probably sounds crazy. And I know like you like had a hard time understanding my logic here last time this came up. But like don't get me wrong, widescreen all the way and all that. And I bought widescreen DVDs back in the day. Yeah. But like, I feel like if I'm going to watch a DVD, I'm going to want to watch it on a CRT. If I'm going to want to watch it on a CRT, like I feel like just the CRT aesthetic shines more if the entirety of the CRT is being used. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I get
so
that.
Like, because I had widescreen DVDs, because of course that's what you would have bought back then if you were in the know. But now I'm like, I have all these widescreen DVDs and I'm like these aren't as fun to use on my PVM. Not that I even really have like a DVD player connected to my PVM, other than like, I guess, the PS2, but I don't like the idea of, wearing down a PS2 laser for movies at this point. So I'm not going to do that. But anyway, but it's just like, yeah, I just can't really see foresee a time I would watch this movie in widescreen DVD. Like I would stream it. I would maybe get a Blu-ray or a UHD Blu-ray.
Yeah.
Like there is definitely part of me that like is that like I have in the past couple of years bought a few UHD Blu-rays. But they're not as perfect and pristine as you would think. Like I distinctly remember I rewatched all of the Daniel Craig Bond movies before watching No Time to Die. And there was this one shot in the Spectre UHD that had some really bad like banding and like a really dark scene. Had really bad banding. I was like, that's like not something you would expect to see on a UHD Blu-ray.
I wonder if it just has to do with like the master that they have, I guess.
There was a $5 super chat from Jonathan Henson. Thank you. Saying, listening to you guys while driving home from the data center. Please describe everything happening on screen. So Coury...
It's got Coury's big buzzsaws. That's all you need.
Yeah, Corey's going like down like a series of tubes, which is similar to your data center that you're leaving from. And there's like buzzsaws and like gears jumping back and forth across these tubes, which I'm sure is like, you know, what you deal with on a daily basis at the data center.
So there's just me and Monty today. We went to we had tickets for a Reds game, a baseball game, and he really wanted to go to IHOP. So we went to IHOP for breakfast before the game. It was kind of fun.
Yeah.
I hadn't been to IHOP in a long time.
Yeah,
actually.
I've only ever been maybe 2 or 3 times. You know, I went with you and Joey. Well, I think it was IHOP. Or was it IHOP? I think it was.
It might have been.
It was like late at night.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know. I don't remember it, but there was an IHOP like by where you're thinking of, so it's very possible. But he really wanted pancakes. So I was like, okay. Because there's the like Waffle House, and he's like, I wish that they had like a pancake house. And I'm like, IHOP is like the International House of Pancakes.
Yeah.
And he's like, what? Because he had no idea.
Like it was a long time before like I realized that the term International House of Pancakes wasn't just a funny thing my friend said. Like I was like, oh yeah, that just sounds like the kind of random jokey stuff he would say. And I'm like, oh wait, that's like actually the name of a real place. Yeah, I've only been to IHOP a few times. One opened a few years ago here, but I've still never been. Thought of it.
I mean, it's
okay.
Yeah, it's exactly the kind of place you'd expect it to be.
Yeah. I'm more of an omelet man.
Oh, me too, 100%. I mean, that's what I get every time. Is I get ham and cheese omelets. Oh no!
There was also a $10 super chat from old Seabass Knack.
Ah, thank you.
So at HR, have you been practicing your soccer chants like Coury has? Also, y'all missed out on a fun MomoCon the past few days. Lots of arcade and pinball cabinets were set up for the fun.
What is this? That's
where MomoCon is like a thing that's in like multiple places. Or no, is that the one in Atlanta? Is MomoCon the one in Atlanta?
Oh, you're asking the wrong guy. I don't know.
I think that's the one that Lynn went to.
It may as well be.
A few years ago. And she met up with and hung out with the guy who did our live translation during our M2 interviews.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Gavin? Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Interesting.
Like he's just someone she knows from like,
work, right?
Well, yeah, basically, because just as part of localization Twitter, I guess. So those are kind of like, she was aware of who he was when I said like, oh, you know, here's who's going to be doing our translation. She's like, oh, I know. There was $5 super chat from Theater of Pain.
Theater.
Saying, hey, gentlemen, just got back from... I mean, for a second, I thought you were getting me real excited, thinking this was not just a blast from the past or something. Saying I just got back from Funkoland after picking up my reserved copy of Golden Axe 3.
Oh.
Enjoyed the stream as usual. Man, reserved. That was the word back then.
Yeah.
Did
like
you
to
use
reserve it?
the
Yeah.
term reserved instead of pre-ordered?
Yep.
Yeah, like it took me a long time to switch over to saying pre-ordered once that, for whatever reason, started becoming the term. It always was reserved. Yeah, I'd go to Funkoland or KB Toys, and I'd reserve a copy of Banjo-Kazooie or reserve a copy of Final Fantasy IX. I had my copy of Mario Kart 64 reserved at Funkoland, and my mom picked it up the day it came out, and like I just remember like being at school like all day long, just thinking like, oh my gosh, did she get it? Did she get it? I don't know. Like it's like getting home. It's like gonna be like a 50-50 of like whether it's like this game that I just like am uncontrollably excited for, like is going to be in my house or not.
It's so stressful sounding, you know. If I die again on this level, I'm gonna start. I don't know how many levels are in the game.
Like I walked home, so I wouldn't have like known, like, before I got home, like, my mom wouldn't have like picked me up or anything. Oh man, bro, Disney Funkoland, these were.
I wonder if I have to really only worry about one character, just hitbox.
So, can you choose to control either character?
No. They both are together, and then one of them can face the other way. I think it's just the girl in red with the bazooka.
So you don't feel like? Do you feel like one of them is the main character that you're directly controlling? Or?
I don't know.
Stephen Saucier, or Saucier, or whatever, however you would say that, says only the blonde can get.
Okay, so she can take damage. Okay.
$10 super chat from EB Chill 2. Thank you. And hey, Triforce, you probably already know, but the Amazon Prime app still works great on the PS3. I use analog output for my Sony CRT. It's great. I did not know that. That's actually pretty funny. Remember when the Netflix app had to be like a disc that you put inside your PS3?
Yeah.
To be honest, I guess I never even by the time I was using like Amazon Prime streaming, I wasn't really using the PS3 for anything like that anymore. So to be honest, I didn't even know that it had an app. But is it possible to like set up, like, what I wonder is, can you set up if your PS3 is set up for 4.3, like the output, like 480i 4.3 to a CRT.
Like, does it change?
And well, like if you're watching like an old TV show or something like that would be 4.3, would it actually output without being letterboxed and pillar boxed?
I don't know.
Like, that would actually be pretty amazing.
Yeah.
Like this is
I think
why
some games do. Yes.
This is why I like really want there to be a DVD player core for the Mister, because I would love to just have like a collection of ripped DVDs that you could just like run out to a CRT, or that you could run on your like main 4K TV and use the filters for. Because, you know, over the years, Drum and I have watched a few movies that there was just like no version. Like you couldn't find it for streaming at all.
Yeah.
So, you know, we would have, you know, a copy acquired by some means.
Yeah.
And once or twice we like actually ran them on the computer that has RetroArch set up on it, and you can like actually load like the GPU shaders on video files through that. So like that helps a little bit, but I'd rather do that on Mister.
Yeah. No, I totally get that, you know? And you were talking about how you wanted like some soundtracks and stuff. Like I found some bin and Q game soundtracks, and I've been converting them into .chd files that you can in fact load. I've tried it. You can load them
on like the Sega CD and PS1 cores.
Yeah, the PS1 core.
Awesome.
I found that like it skips like a few seconds at the beginning of the song.
Oh, but the Sega CD core works like perfectly for that.
You just use the CD interface. Yep.
Wow, that's awesome. I think I'm going to do that. Like I might even rip like a bunch of my own, just to rip my own.
Rip them. Rip. Gonna rip and tear them.
There's $10 from Nick Daniels saying omelets are for the weak. Pancake master race. I don't know. I mean, I guess if you've already got all of the, you know, I feel like you're going to get more like energy from an omelet, you know, more like protein or whatever in there. So I guess
I have protein.
I guess if you don't need what is in an omelet though, then you probably are not weak if you know. So you already got everything you need. Then just have some pancakes, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I can have either one, but I'm just.
I mean, I would rather have waffles than pancakes, personally. In an ideal situation, I prefer.
Like, what do I do there?
If I can choose, I do prefer.
I'm gonna switch over to easy. Because I.
Oh, did you like die out?
Yeah, I use up all my continues.
How far in were you?
I was made it to level 3, but I don't know if that makes like how many there are total. I guess.
Oh, Replicant 813 is a country fried steak guy for breakfast. You know,
steak and eggs.
I've had country fried steak a couple of times in my life, and I just like I can't. My dad loves it.
Steak and eggs, or steak and waffles. Steak and waffles.
Is that a thing? Like I know chicken and waffles is a thing.
Oh, chicken and waffles. Yeah, I'm thinking steak and eggs is the thing.
Oh yeah. I've never. Like I don't quite get the pull of country fried steak or chicken fried steak or whatever the term may be.
Steak and waffles should be a thing.
There was 999 super chat from Grungy Glitter. Saying picked up Patriotic Pinball today for PlayStation upon the glowing enthusiasm from Trying Audie in the pickup video. Any chance for a Patriotic Pinball stream in the future featuring Audie? I don't know. Like he definitely
know. No. Doubtful.
I feel like that seems like a perfect like John and Audie like DF Retro Let's Play. Like that and the Xbox pinball game that he got. It was like American Pinball Reborn or something like that. These were like, this is like a strange subgenre of pinball game that amused us.
I keep on forgetting that that only the blind can take damage.
Breakfast tacos. I
yeah.
can definitely get. I like my mom sometimes
burritos.
makes like. Yeah, my mom makes breakfast burritos sometimes, and they're really good.
Okay, so Crispy is saying that it's 6 stages.
How far in were you then?
3. I made it to 3. I mean, if we can see to the end of the game, I think that's worth it.
Let's get some sausage gravy. You know, I'm not huge into gravy on biscuits. Like, I'd rather like have like,
oh man, my wife
just like
thinks,
sausage in my biscuit and just like pick up and eat my biscuit. Like, I love gravy. Gravy's great, but like it's not. I would prefer to have my biscuit another way.
You know, I said that I just said that my wife makes really good like gravy, biscuits and gravy, and I think that you've had them before. Now that I think about it, because when you were here during New Year's, I'm pretty sure.
Oh, at your house?
Yeah.
Biscuits and gravy for New Year's? Yeah.
Well, New Year's Day when we had the brunch.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, don't get me wrong. I like it, but like. I would probably I like to have just like a patty of sausage or like a fried chicken biscuit or something, you know. I think are chicken biscuits like not really considered like exclusively a Southern thing anymore? Like is that kind of at least nationwide at this point? Chicken biscuits, that's not like a weird thing anymore. It used to be only a thing that you could get in the South.
What is the one that I want? Like, I don't remember which is what, which is which. I don't know. That doesn't sound familiar to me.
Wait, you're not even familiar with chicken biscuits?
I mean,
oh man,
like just. I can't do that thing. I mean, no, I meant that in terms of it being like just like a Southern thing.
It definitely used to just be a Southern thing. Oh man, reopening Bojangles in Henry Clark's area for the first time in many years. Oh man, ain't nothing quite like a Bojangles Cajun filet biscuit is what they call it. That's their term for their chicken biscuit. You know, Bojangles chicken just has a little bit of layer of spice inside. That's what they call the Cajun filet. But let me tell you, if you haven't had the spicy chicken and honey from Biscuitville, that's real good too. Can be a little messy. Not something I recommend if you're like on the road. You don't want to eat a spicy chicken and honey biscuit while driving. But if you aren't driving, good stuff. Also, there was a $20 super chat from Ultimate 145.
Dang, thank you.
Wow, thank you. Saying, hey, I was wondering if y'all would ever consider doing an RGB video on the Nintendo DS or something similar that goes over the many ways of playing DS games. Also, if you want waffles, go to Waffle House. Yeah, I went to Waffle House one time just a few years ago. I don't think I had waffles, which maybe was a mistake. I think I had an omelet of some kind. I honestly don't remember. Maybe I would remember better if I had waffles. We did do a video. I don't know if you've seen. We did a video on the, like 3D capture, which
I'm sure they did see it because it's like one of our most viewed videos, actually.
Oh yeah, I forgot how well that video did. Even though it's not a video that really has like.
He has no
comforting answers for like, hey, you can do this, because like that kind of stuff became unavailable. I know that like DS and 3DS consoleizer concepts have been worked on, but I don't know where in the pipeline any of those may be. But yeah, that was definitely a fun video to do, even though it didn't have like readily available answers, But yeah, I mean, there's some stuff in that, but none of that is like set up in a way that's like, hey, I would recommend like you actually like playing on your TV in this way. It's definitely handy for capture, even though it's imperfect capture. There's some frame hitches like periodically in the method I have, at least. But I do believe that sometime in our lifetimes we are going to have some nice
and
tranquilizer options.
I'm guessing it'll be sooner than rather than later.
Yeah. I mean, of course, there's also years and years ago, I kind of thought there might be value in like. It wasn't a topic I was personally that excited about, but it was something you saw a lot of people discuss, was, like the DS and 3DS screen lottery.
Oh,
where,
yeah. I forgot about that.
You would, you more often than not, you're going to get a bit of a mismatch in color temperature and DS screens, and one might be an IPS and one might be something else. This and that. And I wasn't really all that interested, but like there were several people who were like, oh, if you ever did a video on this, like I've got like all these different ones you could borrow and stuff. Like it was definitely a subject that people had interest in. The video probably would have done really well. I just wasn't really that interested in the subject myself.
Yeah.
What I will say though,
did you win the screen lottery?
I honestly never thought about that deeply.
Yeah.
Like, I didn't want to think about it very deeply. You know what I mean? Like, honestly, like, the screens don't, like when it first boots up, it's so ding, 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 ding.
Yeah.
It's like that white screen with the black text. Like, you can see the color temperature difference there.
Yeah.
Like, during gameplay, it's not really noticeable, so I just never... I didn't want to overthink it. I just because it's like something that you have so little control over, like why make yourself feel sad about it?
Yeah.
Right? Like...
Yeah, just like as time goes on, I feel like that's just becoming more and more prevalent though. People want certain versions like right out of the gate, and it like turns into like it's got to be so stressful. Like it's just made things so stressful.
And especially since you can't like go and buy new systems easily anymore.
Right.
Like it's just, it's like, don't stress yourself out over that, in my opinion, I think. But what I did do as part of my sort of setup redoing downstairs, I set up, I got several of those, like, those IKEA doors that are like the size to go in like a Calyx unit.
No.
They make these like door inserts. They're like, the Calyx is those are the units with like the cube holes, right?
Yes.
They used to be called Expedite, but then they redesigned them into Calyx. I've got a mixture of Expedites and Calyxes, but the door inserts that they make are compatible with both Expedite or Calyx. And so it's this door insert, and like you like stick it in the hole, and you've got a door that you can open and close. And the door inserts have a backing, and I cut holes in the back.
Right.
So I can run wires into them, because I kind of, if anyone remembers like the charging and charging docks episode, which was kind of a smaller episode that I did a few years ago. I had all of my like controllers like out, but eventually it kind of gets to the point of like, okay, how often am I actually using my Wii U gamepad? How often am I
feel like that's the case for like so much stuff.
Yeah, well, how often am I actually using my DualShock 3s? Like, and even like, okay, like let's even say that I might use a DualShock 3 relatively often. What about the bottom one? Because there's two slots on the charging dock. Like, how often am I using 2 DualShock 3s? like I still want to keep them charged, but I was like, these don't need to be like out collecting dust.
Yeah.
So, like, even my new, like, current gen controllers, I now, like, over time, I have started to get them not charging outside, exposed to the dust, but inside those little calyx doors. And, you know, you can only fit a few in each one, but, you know, I run the wires in the back, and it doesn't really matter what the wires look like out the back because, you know, you can't see them because of the door. You know, so that's nice. And so I, you know, because now everything can charge, new and old. They can stay on charge, but not be collecting dust. And, you know, something that I've, you know, kind of been a little worried about is stuff like, you know, the Game Boy Micro and the GBA-SP. Like these are things that I never really had docks for, and I've never like kept like consistently on charge. And I was like, you know, I wonder if those batteries are going to just like die if I don't like, you know, stimulate them every now and then. And so I kind of made this section that I kind of it's the old folks' home. And I read it's the I in my head I'm thinking of it as the old folks home where I've got a GBA-SP charger which also works on original DS. I've got a DSi charger which works on DSi, DSi XL, and all models of 3DS. I've got a Game Boy Micro cord right in there, and a Vita cord right in there to the dock. Now that I did leave the dock in there, but I decided to eliminate the 3DS dock, and I just like have all of the DSs like lined up, and like every now and then, like if I actually get it out, or like, you know, every now and then just open that drawer up, take the 3DS charger out of one 3DS, put it in another 3DS, or put it in the DSi, or swap the GBA-SP charger between the original DS and the GBA-SP. You know, just you know, just kind of keep those batteries a little bit alive, right?
Yep.
But you know what's funny? Like I was looking at the Micro. And it's like that cord is only there is nothing else that cord was.
No. I mean, I think I got like a multi USB cable that it has a micro connector on it.
Yeah, and so like I was like, what cord is this? I can't remember like where this cord would be or anything. And I finally found it, and guess what? It had the twist tie around it still. Like, I might have charged that thing like once or twice and never taken the twist tie off. Because like I mostly got it just because it was like, oh hey, it's the Famicom one. I bet this is going to be really
totally
expensive. And I think
it's a pretty cool system now. Like,
yeah, like, well, you didn't you like?
Yeah, I liked it because I used to it would fit like right in my like change pocket.
And you played it on the subway.
Yeah, but it would like fit in the little pocket, little change pocket.
Yeah,
it fit right in there.
You actually used yours. Me, I never really used it. It was just something that like you could still buy those Famicom ones new, and like they weren't that expensive at the time. And I was like, yeah, you know, I want one of those because I have one of every other Nintendo handheld, and that Famicom one is like by far the coolest of the micros. I'm like, I want that. I like never seriously used it, but like it's crazy. Like I was, you know, whenever I like needed it for an episode or something, like it's not like it didn't. It's not like the battery had like drained itself.
Mhm.
Like a lot of stuff, if you just leave it sitting there, it's like, oh, it's not going to work when you come back to it. But that, and really the GBASP is the same way. Like it did not need to be charged often. But now, like I have like a spot for it. I have a spot where I can like keep them charged.
So people are saying this, like the stream is having, or Joe is saying that the stream is like struggling. I don't know. Like
It looks fine on my end. Looks totally fine on my end. Of course, I'm not listening to it. By the way, Joe, I was commenting earlier about I was just like in absolute disbelief at how much that character in that racing game looked like you. Like that is the most like a real human being I've ever seen like a game character creator get. And it's like, you know, as you said, it's like not a pretty looking game, but somehow like they had like the exact facial structure and like beard settings and hair settings for you in that game out of what I'm sure are profoundly limited character creator settings. I was blown away by how exactly like you that was. I couldn't get over it. It was so funny. Yeah, even the facial expressions was just like I could see that coming out of your mouth. Like it was unbelievable. If I scroll back up, I saw this. Actually, I saw this in the MLiG Discord. Rears to the Blood saying, "Coury and Try managed to save my Final Fantasy Legends 2 cart after the battery died because I still have my Analog Pocket save state active." You know, you are so lucky because that you know, my Final Fantasy Legends 2 battery actually died while I was working on the Analog Pocket episode.
yeah, that's actually kind of a like. Go on. Like I was just thinking about how like that actually is a way you could restore a certain save if you needed to.
Right, because I guess I don't know if like the SRAM is the SRAM part of the save state, or is it just like you were able to make a new save from that point. But yeah, I mean that's great. Like I was actually thinking about, because I've not played through Final Fantasy Legends 2 myself, like the save that I lost. Mm-hmm. Like there were 3 saves on it, but the saves were not my saves. They were just saves from when I bought the game a few years ago. But you know, they were nice to have because I could like load up a mid-game save without having to start from the beginning of the game or something like that, you know, if I want to record footage. But I was actually thinking about playing through the game, like it's kind of like that game was on my mind, like oh, like maybe I'll like play that right away when I get the Analog Pocket. Use that as kind of like a way to test it. And I never got around to actually doing that. And I do think I should get my battery replaced before playing it for real. But yeah, that's pretty awesome actually.
This is like stressing me out. I'm like
there was a £5 super chat from JL. Thank you. Saying, now that the food chat is over, perhaps a certain Jedi Master demands your immediate attention. Well, we probably shouldn't talk about that too much. Since I bet there's a ton of people.
I do want to talk about.
Actually,
I do want to talk about how I managed to convince you, I guess, to like watch it on a weekly basis.
Yeah.
With me, which I think is, I mean, not together, but you know, just like instead of like waiting until they are all out, like you normally wait.
I'm a binger. I want to watch the whole thing in one go. Mm-hmm. But you did say like, hey, you should like I just watch them, like you should watch them while they're coming out, and like it's the one like I've not watched any of the other Disney Plus Star Wars series,
mm-hmm.
So. But like that was definitely the one that like conceptually appealed to me the most, for sure.
Oh, I got 3 people now.
I mean, you know, why would I not want to see?
What was a bonus?
You know, Ewan McGregor as almost old Obi-Wan Kenobi, you know?
Yeah.
Like that's just that's a concept that sells itself. Oh yeah, you have a third person now. That's awesome.
But yeah, I'm excited about it because it's because you had mentioned that you watched all of like Stranger Things, which I haven't watched yet. You watched it all like in one day, like the ones that were out, and I'm like, man,
yeah. Drum came over here on Friday, which is the day that like they didn't dump season 4 all in one sitting. Like it's the first 7 episodes,
but it's still
I guess like the
day.
last couple are like 2, or at least the last one's supposed to be like over 2 hours or something.
Yeah,
but yeah, we spent like 10 hours watching the first 7 episodes.
Yeah, see, like thinking about binging that like that day, like I like these weekly release schedules because you don't feel like you gotta like really stay on top of anything to like, make sure you don't get spoiled for like the end of it. Like, and I think it's more fun to kind of speculate, like what's gonna happen next week. But you say like, you watch that in one day, and like 10 hours sitting there and watching that, man, that's like, that doesn't even sound fun. It just sounds like work.
It was fun though. Like the reason that we did it was because like we had seen like nothing.
Yeah, well, same
like,
here. I haven't seen anything.
We saw no trailers, no teasers, no still shots, anything. Like, I was like, are the kids going to look like a lot older or something? Like, I had no idea.
This, like, before they were filming, at least like
some of it before COVID.
Yeah.
So, like, I was like really curious. Like, what's this going to look like? Like, where's it going to take place? Like, I like, there were so many things I had zero clue about, and we're like, this is like really fun that we know that we have gotten into this situation where we know almost zero about this other than it exists.
Right.
And so we were like, we should just like really prioritize this and go in hard on day one, just to preserve that experience of not knowing nothing going in.
But I had heard something about how some episodes are like the length of movies or something like that. It's like, jeez, that's like it's
definitely gonna be pretty long overall, I think. Yeah. Man, I can't believe how expensive Netflix is now, though, because like I had actually not had it for quite a while. And I resubbed, for Stranger Things, and I'll take advantage of it and watch some other stuff while I've got it. But it's like, like Disney Plus is like so cheap in comparison. And like, if you want 4K quality on Netflix, you have to pay $20 a month.
Oh, I don't even do 4K.
Like, well, it's only like $3 less, I think, if you don't.
Oh,
I don't know if it would have HDR either if you were only paying like, I think it's like $17 or something. Like it is so expensive these days. Like I don't understand how they can like continue to justify the prices they're charging.
Oh, you can earn more continuous. That's good. I mean, I just do a 1080p because like it is surprising that they can just like, they keep on raising the prices and stuff like that, but it's because they're just like dumping so much money into like everything.
I know, but like, I mean, like, so is Disney, and I'm sure Disney has much more money than Netflix overall.
Yeah.
But like they're going crazy with their their shows and stuff, and it's like what, like $7-8 a month?
Yeah, but it will go up. But I guess to be fair, like
Netflix used to be like
Disney,
really
like they can only pull from you know, like their own stuff.
Which is a lot, but
which is a lot, yes. But, you know, you're not going to get like the, you know, like I could see that there is like definitely a subset of people that would just like have no interest in Disney Plus because of I mean, even until recently, like they didn't have like I don't think they had like any R-rated movies on it.
I mean, what do they even have to draw from for that? Like,
I know.
I mean, I guess like they own like other studios or something that probably
yeah they
legacy
know, like the big stuff that they have is stuff that they have just like they bought them out.
Yeah, but like Netflix used to be so good. I mean, I haven't looked at since resubscribing. I haven't looked at like what they've got to offer, but like it used to be like, you know, back when it was like the only like really serious streaming game in town, like, you know, it used to feel like you had a really good chance of finding any random given movie that you like popped in your head, like, I want to watch that.
Right.
Probably be on Netflix. And I feel like it stopped being that way several years ago.
Yeah. And you know, it's just because there's just so much more competition too. Like there's just so much stuff going on with it. Like it's I think that's one of the reasons I also like the weekly releases, because it's easier just to kind of figure out what you're gonna watch instead of just like, oh, and this just came out on this service, and it just you get so bogged down with, I guess, like.
But then you're like following so many plot lines at once.
Yeah, I mean, but that's why. I mean, it feels like
I'd rather watch one story to the conclusion if I could.
Yeah. Well, I mean, what I would prefer to happen is for one show to be on, and then I watch it each week, and then it ends, and then something else comes on. And that's what I think that has been so good with Disney's way of doing it, because it seems like it's so precise that basically. They know that most people are subscribing for like Disney and Marvel, Marvel and Star Wars.
Well, and
they alternate
for movies and kids shows.
Yeah, it's like as soon as one ends, there's maybe like 2 weeks or 3 weeks, a month of like nothing, and then another show starts. They just like have it. Like so set up in a way that it just makes it so that you don't need to. You always have something.
There was a 50 pesos super chat from I apologize, I'm going to really mess up your name, from Carlos Tonatua Tovar Zuniga. Saying, God, Artemio loves this game. I send regards of his land. Thank you. Yeah, I mean, this definitely strikes me as a game Artemio would be all about. He's all about them shooters and all about that Mega Drive.
Yeah, there's too many streaming services, and. We only have certain ones because like they're bundled into certain things. Oh, is this not going to be the ending? I bet you it's because I'm playing on easy. Maybe I don't know if this is the ending. This
might be a cutscene.
Yeah, like cheerleaders and everything back there. But you know. So you've watched a lot of stuff though recently. You just watched the first Karate Kid for the first time.
I did,
and really liked it.
It was excellent, yeah.
Which I think is cool. Like I assume you're doing it to like work towards Cobra Kai, or was it because like that wasn't like really something you were even considering at first?
It came up during a backloggery stream. Mm-hmm. Recently, or for some reason it came up. I don't remember exactly what the context was, but then Drum was like, you know what, we should just watch Karate Kid next movie night.
Yeah.
And he also brought over, this was a rewatch for us. There's, as a kid, Drum had a preferred karate movie, which is a Van Damme movie called No Retreat, No Surrender.
Oh, okay. I was going to say.
And it's terrible. It's really, really terrible. It's awful. But like when he was a kid, he was always like, "Oh yeah, No Retreat, No Surrender is way better than The Karate Kid." It's like a movie that he this is one of his standby movies.
Yeah.
Over Karate Kid. As an adult, I think he definitely he appreciates Karate Kid now.
Yeah.
Like as a kid, he was always like, "Oh no, this is my karate movie." And it's really terrible though. It's so we watched it before several years ago, but he thought it'd be fun to pair that with Karate Kid on a movie night. And Karate Kid was excellent. And so I'm looking forward to, you told me what other movies are part of, which is basically everything except that kind of
the
remake
Jackie
or
Chan
reboot.
And one with Will Smith's kid in it.
Yeah. So I guess they're all part of Cobra Kai continuity. So yeah, we're going to start working up.
That's good. I mean, I've said it before, but Cobra Kai is way better than you'd ever imagine. I shouldn't have gotten those. Slow down.
Oh, I see Phenonymous is familiar with No Retreat, No Surrender.
Yeah, I feel like I've seen it before.
It's bad. It's so bad. It's like almost I don't know. I don't know if it's I mean, it's a far cry from Troll 2, but it's I can't think of anything that would be between Troll 2 and that. It's pretty bad. It's pretty bad. Troll 2 is a little more over the top in its badness, but it's not that far off from Troll 2 in some ways. Yeah, Armanado. Have you seen the Chip and Dale movie? I did watch that. Mm-hmm. I guess it was last week. I did not love it.
Yeah, I watched it on.
Oh, you did
Friday. I watched it on Friday with Monty, and I liked it. I told you I was gonna like it, but I thought it was pretty good.
Because you weren't a fan of the,
Yeah, but
show.
I mean, I think that there's a lot of stuff that I feel like fans would have liked about it. I mean, you had mentioned that, hey, it's I wish that it doesn't, it kind of treats it like it wasn't good or something like that. But I think that the whole the
it's
idea
very
is
cynical. I feel.
Yeah, but I thought it was like that. But then it's kind of actually by the end, it's kind of oh, actually, it's good actually.
Yeah, I didn't like it. Its sense of humor just wasn't really for me. And it also really drove me nuts that you could tell that the characters that were supposed to be hand-drawn old Disney style were just CG models cel-shaded.
Yes.
That really annoyed me. Of course, but that wasn't my greatest annoyance or anything like this. But yeah, I mean, it's
gotten this.
They did DuckTales so right. It was fresh, but at the same time just so good. And, it had plot threads that it followed throughout, but yet each thing was kind of episodic, but they also kept pulling the plot threads. And oh my gosh, the DuckTales reboot it blew me away. I mean, I didn't watch that until I think it was last year. And it blew me away. It was so good. It was so good. This was, I mean, when you compare what they, I mean, I know DuckTales has so much more source material to draw from because it's got the, the comics and stuff, and it's super popular in Europe. But so I know there's probably more to draw from for DuckTales to redo that, to do it justice in the way they did. But like the gulf of what they did with like DuckTales versus Rescue Rangers, it's just ugh.
I don't know. I thought it was pretty funny, but I thought it, they...
it's like it's no Roger Rabbit. It's like nowhere near as good as Robert.
I mean, I think that in some ways, it's unique in that it's better than I would have expected a movie like that to have been, I guess. I thought it was funny.
The best thing about it is that it put Ugly Sonic in a released product.
Yeah. Well,
that's the best thing about it, is that it made Ugly Sonic real.
What was the ending credits? I was laughing about the what was like the Smash Brothers game? It was like Afternoon Showdown or something like that.
Oh.
Like, I got a good laugh about that stuff.
I don't remember what that was. Like aping on that Nickelodeon thing.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, it's definitely, like, I thought that the entire, like, thrust of the the mystery was pretty interesting too, because I remember seeing those things at like the dollar store, like those kinds of movies.
Yeah, I mean that was fun. That was fun. I mean, I didn't like
the one I thought was really funny was like the E.T. and Batman, and he's like, E.T. is like, I don't know, he says like avenge me or something like that, and Batman's like, fine. And I'm pretty sure it was like what's his face, like the Will Arnett Lego Batman version.
Yeah, I mean, I'll say this: I didn't hate it, but I didn't like it.
Okay, I mean, like, I can understand, and like, I can understand another thing is that there's like definitely some funny things in there that are more like, I guess, pop culture-y.
That would have a lot of things would have gone over my head in terms of that concept.
I mean, I got a good laugh of the one where like they're running through the convention at the end, and the one like the Uncanny Valley like dwarf guy, played by Seth Rogen, like when he like fell down, and like all the other characters that he had like voiced in the past, like was like, "Are you okay?"
Oh,
like what's his face from Lion King and stuff like that. I thought it was funny. I think I did better like the first time there, because I think I was not paying attention, wasn't enough attention. But, I mean, this is last boss, and then my partner joins me at the very end. It's like where I was at before.
I see Beastly Panda saying, honestly shocked what I'm hearing about DuckTales. I'm gonna have to check that out. It was really good. I was very skeptical. I was like, oh, why are you making Huey, Dewey, and Louie different? Like, well, they're supposed to be the same character. That's their whole shtick. But no, it's really good. It's really, really good.
I'm supposed to be shooting here.
Yeah, the Darkwing Duck episodes were good. I honestly never watched Darkwing Duck back in the day. Most of my Darkwing Duck experience is the NES game, and that was only a few years ago as it is that I played that.
I did like, there was a little like trouble is all over. Thank goodness. Like there's the Darkwing Duck shows up at the very end. I thought it was good. I mean, I feel as though I'll probably watch it again. Like, because my daughter hasn't watched it, but I don't she didn't really have any interest in it. But I think that I guess going into it, like, my son had like no real frame of reference at all.
Did he like it?
Yeah. I mean, he was engaged the entire time.
What do you think of Ugly Sonic?
Well, it was perfectly timed because
you were playing Sonic Forces.
Yeah. Troubleshooters, lonesome hunters at heart, for nobody knows who they are.
I love this wobbly car.
Right? But since
I'm imagining the Revenge of Meta Knight ending credits music here, driving along to the sunset.
Look at the aspect ratio of that sun.
Yeah,
it's not a circle on a. Series.
I think though it's supposed to be going below the horizon. Though so that white area is probably supposed to be like the edge of the water or something.
Yeah. What I might do is I'll play the second one on EverDrive.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean the Sonic stuff, like it was just like perfectly timed. He thought it was hilarious.
Whoa! Can this possibly be true? We have Christian Hedlund in the chat saying, "Fun fact: I'm the Swedish voice actor for Sonic the Hedgehog in the movies. I got hired to voice a certain cameo in the Chip and Dale movie. Are you serious? That is amazing."
I bet it was tough to like keep the knowledge of that like secret for so long. That's fun, and that's really cool that they would do that.
Well, you know what though, in the English version though, I believe Ugly Sonic is not voiced by the same actor that actually plays him in the movies.
Yeah.
In English though,
right?
But it makes sense that it would be. That's kind of a liquid ocelot situation where like the Japanese, like we got Revolver. We got Revolver Ocelot's voice and Japan got Liquid Snake's voice. Is that right? Or do I have it reversed?
What?
Like in Metal Gear Solid 4. I'm pretty sure that Japan and English voice actors got the opposite character doing the character's voice in Metal Gear Solid 4.
I mean, it sounds.
I think it's Ocelot's voice.
All right,
I think it's Ocelot's voice in the U.S. and Liquid's voice in Japan. Well, I'd be very curious, Christian Hedlund, if you what you think of Audie Sorley's Swedish acting that he's done in a few recent DF episodes. If you watch Digital Foundry.
Okay, I'm gonna play the second one here.
Whoa! We got $50 super chat from Super Guy.
Supra.
You are indeed a super guy for that. Wow, thank you. Saying, I bought a 77-inch LG C2 last week and just now watched your C2 review. Oops. Excellent and informative review, though. I very much appreciate your hard work. Well, it's really only in niche circumstances where the C2 has problems. If you can get it, I was personally very excited about 1920 by 1440 and like how many people are actually excited to use that. And really at the end of the day, like even if you do have a RetroTink 5X or you have a Mister, at the end of the day, playing those in 1080p isn't going to be that different.
You hear this music? Like,
Huh?
The music here is what I use in the Mr. video. Anyway, sorry, I didn't mean
Oh,
to...
really?
Yeah.
So, I mean, at the end of the day, you can definitely make compromises to get around those issues. It's all with these weird retro gaming things. And, you know, if you just set them for 1080p, the C2 is fine because you don't have to set it to 4.3. As long as you don't have to set it to 4.3, the C2 is fine. It's fine. And, you know, we're probably getting to the point where it's going to start to become really difficult to track down a C1 anyway. And the C2 comes with advantages like being able to accept ultra wide formats and things like that. So, you know, and who knows? You know, it might even get patched up a bit. But congrats on that. I mean, 77-inch. I mean, I was blown away by the size jump from 55 to 65. Like, I can't even begin to imagine what a 77 would look like in my space now. Wow, but thank you so much.
Thank you.
Enjoy that new TV, no matter what I say. And you know, hey, the RetroTink 4K, I mean, that thing's going to be pricey, I'm sure, but like, you know, Mike is working on that. And I think I think he said that, like, because of how it's designed, like, I assume, like, to keep the cost down, like, it only outputs 4K. Like, that's all it does.
Yeah.
Which is kind of cool, I think. Like this is for no purpose other than connecting to a 4K device. That's it. You know, and so, hey, you know, that should solve many problems too. I see Christian Hedlund does appear to have enjoyed Adi's Swedish performance, saying, in fact, I sold him an old rare NES game last year. Adi's Swedish needs some work though. Hold on 1 second.
Did I mess something up where I needed to play as... You have two people? Is there an option I messed up? Look at that background. Look at that ground.
That's pretty interesting looking.
I mean, the graphical jump from this game, from the first one, is enormous.
Are any of these the rare NES, the rare, or what did you say? It was an NES game. Was it Euphoria or Mr. Gimmick? Because Adi brought these when he was here and left them because we do want to do a video on Scandinavian Nintendo games when we have a moment, and we didn't have time to shoot it when he was here. Yeah, he left them here. So if one of those is the one you sold, then this is where it presently resides.
This seems pretty awesome. I can see why it commands the price that it does.
But it can't be worth that price.
No, it can't be, but it's real good.
This looks like it maybe runs a little smoother than the other one.
It's faster for sure.
Yeah. Why Scandinavian, not European? Because the Scandinavian ones, like, I guess there's some. I mean, it's just, well, for one, I think some of the Scandinavian games, like, actually came in like shell cases or hard boxes or something. He didn't bring any of those, but like they're also like there's like this like small set of games that I guess I think he said that they're like actually like localized into Scandinavian languages. So it's just
that's great.
It's just interesting. Oh man, that's awesome.
It feels like this would have been something that, like, there would have been an anime show of it at the time.
Oh yeah.
You know, it just feels like that's something that would have been out, you know, like Gunsmith Cats or something like that. Like it feels like that of the era too.
Christian Hedlund says, no, not Bamsey and not Mr. Gimmick. Cool though. If it had been one of those you would have had my name and my mom's handwriting on it. Let me catch up on super chats a bit here.
Baku Matsuroman, like I just chose one way because that was the default option, and this is the first time I've ever played it. So I didn't really know what was going to do what.
Let's see. There was
this is like
$7
right
super chat from Mega X6. Thank you. Saying, good evening. Just got back from spending the weekend at Cass/Snowshoe/Greenbank area just before the stream. Glad I was able to catch the stream. Yeah, glad you were able to get back in time. I keep forgetting it's like a holiday weekend.
Yeah, it doesn't even feel like it.
Especially considering like your wife and daughter just got back from a trip.
Yeah, but, like they finished with school and everything. Like it's weird.
Yeah. I mean, they're finished with school, so Memorial Day like doesn't even mean like a day off of school or anything.
No. Although, you know, I've heard that new Top Gun's real good. Maybe I'll see if I can go see it at some point.
There was a notification that Zane's dad has been a member for 17 months. 17. Thank you. Saying recommend Mystery Incorporated on YouTube. Live action Scooby-Doo. Really good. Is it like official live action Scooby-Doo, or is it like parody, or maybe not parody, but like fan film flying under the radar or something? I also see Madonna Sheehy asking, where is Sandy? Is napping right here. Is Sandy sleepy?
It's that thing again, the level 1 boss. The music in this game is so good.
Is it like a big step up from the first one? Like,
yeah, I mean, I didn't really hear too much of it, but I mean, I can hear this just kind of cranking through, like a little bit under your voice, and it has like an energy to it.
There was a $2 super chat from Phenonymous. Thank you. Saying, better Lex Luthor, Billy Zane or Arnold Vosloo? I don't know which Lex Luthors those are.
Yeah, I don't think they, like, who would be? Like, one of them is the guy from The Mummy, and then you got Billy Zane from Phantom.
Who would be a better
it's like,
Lex
listen,
Luthor?
I don't know.
Or are they actually Lex Luthor?
I would listen to my friend Billy Zane more so than I would choose the guy who is the Mummy, who was also Zartan in the G.I. Joe Rise of Cobra movie.
Wait, all you really need is Lex Luthor from Superman 64.
I'm gonna pick my friend's Billy Zane.
Oh, I don't know if this super chat came in when I noticed that previous comment, but there is a super chat for 199 from Madaji saying, would love to see Sweet Sandy. Here's Sweet Sandy. Being a little sleepy. He says,
Oh, I thought for sure it's like, yeah, that's funny. He's like in this VR headset. maybe not. Like, you're in the background.
Christian Headland says, thank you guys for your great work. You helped me get back into the hobby during the pandemic. It's all your fault that I got both a Mega SG Super NT and Retro Tank 5X. Take care. Bye. Thanks for stopping by. It was cool chatting with you.
Yeah, it was cool having you in here. I mean, can you hear this music at all? Is it going through to you at all? Or is it too quiet?
I hear a little bit, but not too much. I wonder why this game got such a low print run. I mean, obviously Mega Drive was not super popular in Japan, but it's like so low to be like so expensive.
Yeah. Well, like Troubleshooter, like in the US version, I think it's just so expensive because it's like, I don't think they printed very many of those. And that was, like, I feel like that only kind of got expensive in the last couple of years when people decided, like, figured out, like, hey, it's actually pretty cool. Because, like, the Japanese or the American box art is so bad. I mean, I remember even as a kid, like, seeing that box art.
I actually looked up the American box art. It's like, it's bad, but it's like kind of good bad.
Now. But I think that at the time...
Yeah.
That was definitely...
It's very... I mean, it looked very 80s coming out in the 90s, right?
Yes.
And which, you know, today I look at that and I'm like, well, that's kind of fun.
Yeah. But that Japanese box art is real good. Like, I was wondering, like, if there were gonna get a lot of people in the stream because, you know, people come out of the woodwork for anything with anime girls in it.
Yeah, that's always, like, you know, I can always predict like what game, you know, when people are going to ask like what game, you know, they'll drop a time code in the comment and say what game, and it's like, oh, I bet it's the game that had the cute anime girl. about 70% of the time it is.
Yeah.
So I noticed that your characters can get a little separated, like on a ledge or something.
Yeah.
Does she like snap back to you when you?
Yeah. Well,
when she gets free, or do you like have to like sort of smush them back together?
You gotta smush them back together, kind of like that, you know?
Yeah. I saw Shadow Mask asking new RE20 try. Actually, an extremely generous viewer heard us talking about it because Coury got an RE20 last year.
Yeah,
I think, and you know, I had been planning to get my own, like, so that we could kind of have more matched VO.
Mm-hmm.
And someone said, like, oh, hey, like, I bought an RE20 several years ago because I planned to do podcasting, but, like, just, like, never actually got around to it. And, like, I would be very happy to give it to you guys. And so that was a massive help.
Yeah.
I have not used it a whole lot yet because I hadn't had things quite set up the way I wanted to integrate them, but I am going to be using it for co-host streams, and I'll start to use it in episodes as well. Not for Analog Frontiers, because I want Analog Frontiers to have a consistent.
Yeah, I'm kind of like nervous about having to record additional VO for that.
I don't think you're going to have to. I'm going to try my best to not make you have to.
Mm-hmm. But I mean, I just think it's. Like, I can't even tell you what my setup was probably at that time.
Yeah. I mean, if it came down to it, you might just have to redo the whole thing.
Yeah. I wouldn't be opposed to that.
But I think it was fine. I don't recall any particular problems with it because I got it all strung out, you know, like a year ago. but we'll see when I start digging into it a little harder. But no, like, and I could have used it for the C1 C2 episode, but I was trying to produce that so quickly that I didn't want to like have to like come up with new audio settings. And also, like, I shot that one both on cam. I shot it in such a way to where I could use on cam much more frequently than I do in most episodes, because I really need to get done quickly. I was going to have, like, once I realized especially that I was only going to have limited time with the C2 because I was going to return it. It's like, okay, well, I really have to shoot this in a way that, like, my audio tone is not going to be jarring between pure VO and on-cam segments. But I am going to get into using this for episodes in the future. But for now, it's good for streams.
Heck yeah. Sorry, I'm really focused. Oh, did I do it? Jeez, there was a lot of this. Oh, it's turning into something, this thing. A lot of variations to the bosses.
For some reason, this castle level is making me think of the old-timey Japan castle levels with, like, because it's kind of got like the mechanical stuff in it too, in like Mystical Ninja on, like, this first one on Super Nintendo in particular. It's kind of got those, like, mechanical castle levels.
Yeah. Is that it? Ooh, we got, like, pixelated flames.
Ooh.
Flames on the bottom of my screen.
So this was released in no way in the U.S. Like,
no.
Not even, like, on Sega Channel.
No. If this got, like, a translation and, like, Retrode did a version of it, I would probably get that. I haven't really bought I haven't bought any of the Retrode stuff, except for the Mega Man Wily Wars.
Mm-hmm.
But if this was done, I would probably do that. I'd probably get this. Ooh, look at that.
Oh, I don't know if they're watching the stream, but Walter, what did it say? Lost it. Oh, there we go. Walter Hinman pledged $1 on Patreon.
Oh.
Might have just been a coincidence. Might have had nothing to do with the stream. Thank you.
These things are puking on me.
Oh, MLiG Gaming says there is a fan translation out there.
Oh,
I played the stream. I mean, even if it wasn't translated, like, a physical reprint, this would definitely be desirable.
Yeah. Exactly. Like, there's certain ones that...
Or one of the emulated collections. This would
right.
For the LRG Carbon Engine.
Yeah.
Put these two games in a Carbon Engine game.
Yeah, that Wonder Boy collection comes out in a couple of days. I didn't realize it was so close. Not like the full...
Shipping?
Like, what?
Shipping?
No, not the actual, like the one with 25 versions on it. It's just
so
got
the smaller
40.
digital. The one with a whole bunch of games, is that
that's like
only?
exclusive through Strictly Limited. Like, they have a version that just it's so weird. Like, I don't really know.
Is there a digital version of that one, or like is the digital version like only like a handful of games?
I don't know. Like, I think that the one with a handful of games is going to be is like out in a couple days, but I'm not sure if the other one will get a physical version. It'll be interesting to see. Because I don't really know. Because that, like, I have a feeling, like, with the rate at which stuff comes out from Strictly Limited or ships, you know, like, I think that the one that has, like, those 25 different versions is probably going to be, like at least a year off. I did just get my, like, Cotton Saturn version, though. Like, the Cotton 1 and 2 tribute, Saturn tribute.
Is the copy does the copy on the cart or disc have lag improvements?
It does have whatever patches they made to it, because there was no patches for it. But
don't know how improved
I mean, I still heard it's something like a ridiculous amount of, like, frames of lag. So I don't know. For some reason I've chosen, like, the PlayStation 4 as, like, my Cotton system. Like, I've just gotten all the stuff, all the games for it that have been released for it. And, like, I know that their Cotton Fantasy just came out, which was like the US version of Rock and Roll. But I bought the Japanese version of that a long time ago. It has, like, English on it, but it's it was decent. You know, I liked it. I'll be talking about it in the games we played in 2022. But it was, like, one of the easiest platinums I've ever got. Strangely, for a shooter, like, it's weird, but it was just like a basketball. I mean, there's, like, basically, like, the trophies were just, like, super easy, and it just really required you to beat the game with every character.
Wow.
And it's like, but the thing is it's like unlimited continues, and you continue right in place.
I saw Wu asking, NES ROM ripper seems to be sold out anywhere I look. Anyone have any ideas? I do know that it seems to be less common, isn't it, for like a ROM dumper to have, like, NES compatibility, right? Like you know, like the NT Mini is, like, one of the easier, like, ROM dumpers for NES. I think that's hard to get. Like, there's a lot more, like, mapper consideration and stuff.
Is that it?
Like, you have to know what mapper it is when you dump the ROM, and the ROM dumper has to be compatible with the mapper, so it can be difficult to dump, like, pirate ROMs or homebrew games and stuff like that might use weird mappers. Like, it has to, like, specifically support that mapper. But I saw that Raging Leap said that check out the Sani cart reader.
Yeah, that's that one. That's the. I think it's open source, because, like, other people have made it, and, like, there's, like, Macho Nacho did a video on it. There's, like, a version of it, whereas for, like, dumping saves, I don't know if you can copy saves back to the cartridge though. With it, you can dump them, but I'm not sure if you can go back to it.
There's a comment from Tim Burleson saying, found your channel less than a month ago. Oh. My favorite is the video on controllers for different systems. You know, I've actually kind of felt inspired. I mean, it'll probably be a few months before we get to it, but I've been inspired to, like, do the
first party controllers.
The final, or not, maybe not final, but, like, you know, the from where we left off up to present.
Yeah.
First party controllers episode. I've kind of wanted to do that lately. Mm-hmm. I mean, obviously we spent a good bit of time on, like, the Switch Online ones, but you know what kind of got me thinking about it?
What's that?
Was, you know, I've heard people say that the DualSense D-pad is not good, and I've not really understood that. But because I've generally not had problems with it, and I should try it in, like, like I should try it on like the Mister with like Contra or something to see if it gives me problems, because Contra's always like the gold standard of tests for me. But I found another test that I think might be good for determining like, you know, the likelihood of like incorrect inputs on a D-pad. When we were playing Dungeons and Dragons Shadow over Mystara,
Yeah.
there's a move you can do. To me, it's kind of similar to the like there's a few moves in Kirby that you can do, like with the yo-yo and the whip in the later games, where you hit down up attack. And Dungeons and Dragons has a down up attack. And like in Kirby, I wouldn't have thought anything of it because those attacks you just kind of go straight up. But in Dungeons and Dragons, I kept like you kind of like charge forward when you enter that combo. And when I was playing the first week we were playing at Drum's house on, you know, his emulator setup.
Yeah.
And I brought a DualSense controller because he didn't have another spare controller, and you know, I thought, well, that'll probably be the easiest one to set up. And I kept finding myself when I was doing that move, I kept finding myself turned the other way for whatever reason. And I was like, I don't understand why this is happening. And then the next week we played it on the Mister at my house, on the new Mister I built last week. It worked just fine for last Monday's stream.
Nice.
And I was using the Switch Online SNES controller. And
It was
I
good.
I didn't have trouble with like accidentally being turned around when I was doing that move. So like maybe in some niche circumstances you can get some errors on the DualSense controller, but in normal play up to now, I've certainly not had problems with the DualSense D-pad.
This game is so weird. It's awesome at the same time. Like, look at these fish guys. I'm really appreciating this level. Like, it's around on their car. They got the roof blown off of it.
Oh, I see Artemio has joined the chat.
Ah.
It's good to have Artemio on board.
Yeah, you know, we just had a donation from someone saying that this was like one of Artemio's favorite games, or at least.
Well, that was back when you were playing the first game,
Yeah.
but I assume.
I'm sure that he feels similar about this one, though. I mean, we can ask him. Artemio, do you think this is better than the first one, or do you think the first one is superior to this? Because as it stands right now, I feel like this one is a lot better than the first one. Not that the first one was bad at all, but this game is it's really awesome.
It seems like it's just like kicked up to 11 here.
Yeah.
There was also a 50 pesos super chat from Lunita Productions. Thank you. Saying, hi guys, played this game in a Sunday evening like this after I ate sushi with my friends. That sounds like a darn fine day.
Yeah. Is there hamsters like in the wheels?
Oh?
There's hamsters.
Oh yeah, they look more like rats.
Yeah, well, that's what's making it
Those
go.
are powering the truck. That's pretty funny.
I mean, this
I love how like is that? I can't tell if that's your car or if that's a little car or if it's like a bike of some kind. Is that a bike? I think it might be like a.
That they're riding on? No, it was a car. Just the roof got blown off.
Oh, okay.
At the very beginning of the level. I'm gonna die here again, so you can see it when it happens.
You know, I was looking at your backloggery the other day, and you've got some serious catch up to do.
Oh my gosh, yeah. I mean, I was kind of saying I was in a way I was kind of waiting for like the site relaunch.
Oh.
To like do a lot of that stuff. No, I basically like am so far behind. I basically have to just like take inventory from everything, like starting from scratch, just to like to know what I have and what I don't have.
Look at the rotation on that gun. On the head, like that's really well done.
I don't know. I'm still alive here.
Yeah, it was like 3 minutes ago you said you're going to die. That every other line pattern on the when you do that laser blast, like definitely looks like an intended transparency effect.
Well, you see the clouds down there on the bottom, like that's definitely just flashing really fast.
Yeah. Which, you know, it works. So you did it. You did do it.
I don't know how. I don't know how many levels into this I am.
They look like they're breaking into a contra base.
Yeah, I was gonna say it looks like 2 and 4 or 2 and 5. Is it 2 and 4? Like in Contra, uses that perspective, or is it 2 and 5?
Yeah, that's right. It never comes back into the game after. Like the first 2 levels alternate, or the first 4 levels alternate between modes, and then it's just normal the rest of the way. This is kind of like almost like a Ranger X type.
Yeah, where it's like rotating.
Yeah, this is pretty awesome.
I like the continuous screen too, and the spinning heads.
That is pretty good.
Oh yeah, Mr. Self-Improvement says I really miss the 80s and 90s Japanese bubble gum anime aesthetic. Every time I see a show this look, I just fixate it. So much color and fun art. Yes, I mean I love this kind of style. Like stuff now is just like it has such like a weird. It's too like angular. I think like, the best way I can describe it.
No, I believe Coury is playing this via an EverDrive.
Yeah, I played the first one, like the real card, but this one's I'm playing on EverDrive. I didn't expect to finish the first one.
It's not Coury's cart though. He's holding it for someone else.
Yeah.
He just thought it'd be fun to actually play through it on a real cart while he had the chance.
Yeah. It would have been cool. If this one
that's
like
no real cart anywhere remotely accessible to us.
Also, anime girls don't have noses anymore. I never thought about that, but I think you're right.
Does it have a battery to save top scores? I doubt it. Batteries are kind of an uncommon thing on Genesis, for the most part. And so are infinite continues. Does this have infinite continues?
No. I really wish that you could choose who you wanted to be, like to have the hitbox. Because, like, for some reason, I really want it to be the other girl, like not the one with blue hair.
Mellow Gaming says this game has real developers flexing as much as they could within their budget vibes. Like some games are flashier, but this game clearly wasn't made with the big bucks. I mean, yeah, it's like you know,
but it's clear to me that they were really passionate about what they were doing.
yes.
They wanted to just say like, hey, like, I mean, I don't even know if that first one even sold well enough for it to like justify getting a second one in the first place.
Yeah, I don't even know how this game happened. Like, it couldn't have sold that well, considering how expensive it is, you know?
Yeah.
I mean, they couldn't have made that many. And then, you know, they stepped up the game here just because they wanted to. You know, this is something that I've heard Digital Foundry talking about a bit lately, where, like, there's, like, CD Projekt Red, for example, announced that, what was it? I guess The Witcher 4 is going to be on Unreal 5. You know, and like CD Projekt Red has always been one of those companies that has like done their own in-house tech, right?
Right.
And you know, more and more like Square Enix is moving towards Unreal and stuff, and like they've done Final Fantasy 7 Remake, you know, especially on PS5. I mean, it looks awesome, right? You know, they did really good things with it. But you know, they were kind of lamenting the, you know, I mean, this has been going on for a while, but the DF guys were kind of lamenting the, you know, consolidation of engines.
Yeah.
And, you know, how no one is really, you know, making their unique tech. And they were saying, like, what's sad about is that there's so little incentive to really learn, like, low-level programming and, like, programming, like, close to the metal, you know?
Yeah.
Because, like, you just need... You don't really need to learn how to make the engine. You just need to learn how to program the game mechanics and whatnot, I guess. But like, and now, so there's just going to be fewer and fewer and fewer people learning to like really like squeeze the most out of the hardware. Right. Because the only companies that can even like really afford to hire those people, that those like top level game engine engineers, are like Epic anyway, right?
Yeah, I guess.
You know, yeah. There's like it's like it's going to be harder and harder for like the mid-sized AAA developers, or even a lot of like, you know, larger AAA developers, to like maintain the, you know, the engine developer talent, because Epic could like hire them away for like really easily.
Yeah.
And Shinjon says, you know, to be fair, 3D engines are super complicated and super expensive to make. It's true. Like I don't necessarily lament it as much as the DF guys are. I mean, I do enjoy, like, you know, having multiple companies kind of pushing game tech forward. But I absolutely understand why it is done. And, you know, when I see stuff like, you know, I always think like how, you know, Dragon Quest XI has like, you know, cloth physics and stuff like that. And like, there's no way that if Square Enix was making their own engine for Dragon Quest XI, they would put cloth physics. Like, there's no reason to have cloth physics in Dragon Quest, but because it's part of the engine, why not?
Yeah, why not? And, you know, like, that's, I thought that Dragon Quest XI, like, was a lot better looking than, I don't know, it was a lot better looking than I expected it to be. You know?
Yeah, it's a really good looking game. That, you know, I mean, I think Square Enix has done some pretty solid stuff with Unreal, for sure.
You know, this level is, like, it's really, really cool, but it is really easy to not
see what's going on.
Yes, I think that's why I'm just like falling apart here.
Yeah, it sure is bringing up the huge waste of money spent on the Fox engine.
I think about that sometimes. I think I was thinking about, that popped in my head just fairly recently. I just remember Kojima like tweeting about it a whole bunch for like years, really.
Yeah. Speaking of developers that program close to the metal, though, you know, like I don't know how you say it, Shinen, you know who I'm talking about? They did like
yeah.
the Iridian games.
Yeah.
They're the ones that did like that. The tourist game. Like my understanding is that they like kind of come from the demo scene.
Right. Yeah.
You know, from back in the day. I discovered I meant to tell if anyone here can report can verify and report Mr. Bugs. Here's a bug for you to report. If you boot up Iridian 3D on the GBA core, the Sheenan logo, like it like spins in, and it has like some weird stray lines that I record it from the Mr. Core for the pickups video.
Yeah.
Because I picked up Iridian 3D at the store, but just to make things easy, like all of like the systems that were available to play on Mr. Like when I recorded some footage, you know, to just drop in, like I recorded on Mr. so I could just grab as much as quickly as possible. And I noticed that the logo looked kind of funky, and I checked it on the original GBA, and it was not like that. And I think it's what I think is interesting about that is like Sheenan, whatever you say their name, like they definitely do like some weird stuff because they're demo scene guys,
right?
Like they're like pushing the system to do things you wouldn't normally think of it doing. And so it kind of doesn't surprise me that there would be a glitch like that in one of their games. I don't know if there were any glitches during gameplay, but that kind of jumped out to me because I was like, oh, that logo doesn't look like I think it probably should. I double checked it. Did Audie buy another suitcase? No, but one of his suitcases was mostly empty. He did help me get rid of a bunch of boxes I didn't need though, because he like put his games in like a bunch of boxes to fly to Montreal to like sort of Tetris them into his suitcase, because one of his suitcases did not have much stuff in it.
Even a little bit better on this time, but that background is mesmerizing.
Yes, it looks awesome. It's like, I guess it's line scrolling, but it's like scrolling them forward and then scrolling back. Like it's unusual to see it in that way, because normally you would just see it be linearly.
Yeah.
But it's like,
music in this game is
that
so
says, I wish
good.
people would make or use a 2D sprite engine instead of using 3D engines to make 2D games. I don't really know how it works these days. Like a lot of 2D games are made in Unity. Like, is it actually, like, as far as Unity is concerned, is it operating in like a 3D mode, or does it have like a separate 2D mode? Like, more, I don't know if I should say more often than not, but like very often,
UFO catcher.
These like modern pixel games don't adhere to a pixel grid. And I prefer it when they do adhere to a pixel grid. I feel it makes the
Wait, which one are you talking
final
about?
image look more cohesive. Like modern games running in like Unity or whatever.
Okay. Yeah.
Like 2D games running in Unity. Like I don't really know if it's like actually in a 2D mode or not. Like so many games don't adhere to a pixel grid, which is, I feel like there can be like valid artistic reasons to not adhere to a pixel grid. Like for example, the Mina the Hollow, the upcoming Yacht Club game, right?
Yeah.
Like that is like so slavishly authentic to a lot of Game Boy Color limitations in terms of like the sprite design and the sprite color palette, but it does not adhere to a pixel grid. And I like those guys know their stuff, and I feel confident enough in their abilities that like not adhering to the pixel grid was like a conscious decision on their part. And I think it was to make scrolling look smoother and character movement look smoother, rather than like, you know, jumping each pixel, which I can see the way that it's put together in that game, I can see why they made that choice. If I were personally in charge of the game, I probably still would have said like, hey guys, let's stick to the pixel. But I think I can respect their decision there. Like I think they had a reason for doing that, rather than, to be honest, I feel like most games, when they don't adhere to a pixel grid, it's just because like the guys doing the programming and the guys doing the level design and the guys doing the art like don't understand all the parts of the process, and you know, it just kind of comes together, you know. And
let's be it.
I would prefer to see more games adhere to a pixel grid, because I don't think they have a reason for not adhering. But I think with certain cases where, like, you know, much more, you know, seasoned developers, I think there can be valid reasons, like with what I saw with Mina the Hawk.
Jeez, this is like some tough bosses. There's like a lot of like phases. Oh, maybe not. I'm definitely gonna die. There. This has got to be like not the last level, but close to it, right?
I don't know. Burrito 1981 says, I agree with Try. Lots of modern 2D games abuse the 2D sprite to a point where it's really no longer genuine. In fact, some games combine high-res stuff with pixel or disrespect pixel size. It looks bad. You know, one of the ones that drives me the craziest is the Dragon Quest 11 2D mode, which I really liked. I really liked that mode for the most part.
I'm gonna run to the bathroom.
But for some reason, the character sprites are scaled up just like 2% or something. Like a really small amount, and they like don't adhere to the pixel grid of the backgrounds, and like they are just slightly unevenly scaled. And it's like, why? When you're on the world map, they are the same size as the background, but when you're in like towns or dungeons, they're scaled up just like the most minuscule amount. It's like, what does this accomplish? Why did you do that? And it couldn't have or shouldn't have been that way on 3DS. Like on the 3DS 2D mode, which I assume is pretty close to the mode that we eventually got in the Dragon Quest XI S version on consoles. I assume it uses the same maps that the 2D mode on the 3DS uses. So they wouldn't have scaled up. I mean, it was a 240p. It's a 240p system. They wouldn't have scaled up the sprites on that. So I don't know. I don't know why that would happen. But I do like it when developers try to stay relatively true to what a system could do. Like, it's okay to go outside the bounds a little bit, you know, add widescreen modes, add parallax to NES and stuff like that. But I do like adherence to pixel grids. I don't prefer like when they do like lighting effects, you know, like that are just high-res lighting effects done in Unity or whatever. I mean, that stuff can be okay. I don't necessarily hate it, but again, if I was like in charge of the project, I think I'd be like, hey guys, like, let's not do that. Let's not do that. Let's not do those like particle effects and, you know, those the subtle light, the glowing gradients on like light sources and stuff like that. It's just like it goes a little outside the style you're trying to mimic. I mean, that's one reason I kind of like the trend of games that are developed for Genesis or actually developed to run on NES and stuff like that, or Game Boy Color. I think there have been indie games that have targeted all those systems. And sometimes they get like a physical cartridge released for that platform, but sometimes you get a version on a cartridge for Switch or on a disc for PS4 or something. I like that idea because it does force you to work within, certain constraints.
All right.
There was a notification that Scott Snyder has been a member for 22 months.
22.
That's pretty close to 2 years. Saying, try what firmware is your C1 on? I'm saying mine up tomorrow, but I'm worried about screwing something up if there is an update available. I was worried about this same thing. Let me go to the because see, I've never connected my C1 to the internet. Because I was like, you know what? Like, I want this to be a dumb TV. Like, I'm afraid of a firmware update breaking something. And so, that information I was able to get via Twitter, right before I set it up with Best Buy to exchange the C1 for C2. I made sure, okay, your firmware is up to date and everything, and these are the results you're getting. So let's see. Where can I find this? Should be the same.
This is like, I just like it. This level has just crushed me.
But you still got continues left, huh?
No, it's just like, I think I used my last continue.
Oh.
I mean, if anybody's played this, can you tell me if this is like the end of the game, basically? No, that's it, see?
Uh-oh. Why can't I find the page for the 65-inch C1?
This intro is really good, too.
Why? This is silly. Oh, there. I'm blind. There's the 65-inch C1. Okay, so I went to the... let's see. So let's see. Software update. Because you can update it via USB stick. And they have instructions on the LG website how to do it. Let's see. So on the LG website, they list the they list the most recent update is 03.25.25.
It's playing normal. I guess like it should. I thought.
And that was released on January 24th. So there has not been a firmware update since those lag readings were taken that convinced me to buy the C1 and the lag readings I did myself. So if you download this 032525, you shouldn't have anything newer than what I have. If you download that, put it on a USB stick, download the software update guide that will also be on that page. And you'll have the same firmware I have. Like I'm like I haven't even connected it to use the smart apps. I have a external box I can use for that anyway. So. I don't want bothering me when it's like, ooh, there's a firmware update. You want to install it?
Well, you can turn that off.
Can you? Like, you can turn off auto update, but can you make it not notify if there is one available?
I mean, I've told it no before, and then it like never tells me again.
Oh, every time you say no on the C7, if there's an update available, like I have auto update turned off, but if there is an update available on the C7, and you say, it'll say, do you want update? You say no, it'll say it. It'll ask you every time you turn on the TV until you do it. I don't know if you can turn that off, but that seems like a very specific setting that I don't think would exist. Yeah, you can turn off auto updates, but you can't make it not know that there is it and make it not tell you. Oh, Henry Clark said there is a stage select code. I mean, it's 10:35, so why not? Why not use a stage select code?
Okay. I'll have to look it up here.
I also got a notification that John H has become a YouTube member.
All right, 1 second. An option is move the cursor to BGM. Change the sounds. Enter to silence and press A button 4 times.
Silence. Is silence the name of the track, or is it actually just silence? It makes me think of the F-Zero track, Silence. Is that in the original F-Zero, or is that from F-Zero X? I know it's an F-Zero X.
There's 9 stages. Do I even know what I was on before? I'm guessing it may have been like... I'll go to 6 just to see it.
Try, can you turn off the annoying feature on C1 when turning it on? You get a bunch of apps appear at the bottom. I think so. Yeah, Daniel is saying you can disable the home launcher. Yeah, I think that's what it was called. That's it's in your general settings or support or something. I think that's what it's called, the home launcher. Yeah, you can disable that. That started happening like a year or two ago on my C7, and it really annoyed me. Like it started happening after a firmware update, and I just thought that was.
That's like looking at the chat.
I didn't realize I don't know if there is an option for disabling on the C7. But I never even looked for it because I just assumed it was just one more way to make a TV bad through firmware updates. So I'm just like, you know what? I'm done with firmware updates. I do not have interest in updating the C1 again now that I know that everything works the way I want it. I don't think anything works the way I wouldn't want it. So I can't imagine they're going to ever add anything to the C1 at this point. It's going to be like, ooh, this is relevant to my interests. C2, on the other hand, I mean, there's a lot of things they could do on that would be relevant to my interests. I did like the design of the C2 a lot. The C1 is very similar to the C7. Like, it has the same bezel and everything. Like, the C2...
Which is, like, virtually non-existent. I mean...
Huh?
I guess. I like, you said that, like, the back of it was, like, designed, like, kind of differently, right?
It's very flat. Rather than, like, like, the part where, like, the components are, they have the vents on top, is, like, curved. It's like very near the bottom and curved on like the previous models. I think yours is very similar because the C1 and the C7 are very similar, just a different color on the backside. But like it's kind of got like a flat silver edge to the bezel. That's kind of cool on the C2, and the back is very flat. Like it's actually like a hair, like. Up to a point, it's actually like the part that has the actual screen is like probably a hair thicker than the older ones actually, but then it's got this like kind of large flat back, like rather than that like kind of curved bit on the back. Yeah, I'm not describing it very well, and I didn't really get any good pictures of the back, but I did like the design of it more, and it was a lot less heavy too. Possibly because it doesn't require as much energy to run the Evo screen or something like that. I don't know. I mean, I'm pretty positive I have an Evo screen based on the model number and based on the service menu information on my C1, but you know, obviously the design of the TV and the weight of it is the same as any other C1. But like, it was so funny to me that the C1 stand that it comes with is like so huge and so heavy. It's like it's almost the width of the TV itself.
Oh,
like
wow.
it's got this extremely heavy weight.
I always thought like the one that came with the
really
C8,
heavy.
like I was just like I think that's such an ugly stand.
It's kind of a cool stand. I like the stand for the C1, like just visually better than I liked the stand for the C2. But the C2 itself was a lot lighter, and so was the stand. It was very lightweight. I was kind of tempted to see if I could use the C1 stand. Like if I could make that work. But ultimately, once the new carpet got put in,
Yeah.
I went back to mounted, which I'm happy with. But the stand was pretty darn cool. But it was too wide for the stand that it was on. Because I couldn't even center the TV under the center channel speaker. Which, like, that would drive me nuts if I couldn't do that. It was fine for, you know, just working on the episode and, you know, just living with that for a few weeks afterward.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
It looks like she has her leg like kicked up on that skull.
Oh, yeah! That's kind of awesome.
Yeah.
And like, it's like, what do they call that? Inverse kinematics or something like that?
I don't know.
Like in 3D
Like right
animation.
there, like it looks like her foot is just like in that little gap there.
Yeah. Well, it's like, you know, like people made a big deal out of that little animation that Samus does in Metroid Dread, where like if she is up, like if there's like a wall near her, she like puts her arm, like her hand arm, like on the wall while she shoots, or like over a door frame or something like that. Like if there is something for her to reach out to, like they actually like put her hand on
to kind of like steady her aim.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a cool like little bit of detail.
Like it doesn't change how it works mechanically, but it like adds a lot more, like it grounds the world.
Yeah. I never knew that there was like a name for it.
If Shinjon's still here, you know, I know I think that's what it's called, inverse kinematics or something like that. Like it has to do with like I think it has to do with like how you can like stick a joint onto a specific location, but the rest of the body can move. You know, like if I were to grab this microphone, like my hand is stuck to it, but the rest of my body and joints like move in relation to, you know, the fact that one part of me is stuck to the wall. Or, you know, you could do the same thing with like with like, you know, a character's legs. Like I think if you're walking along and like you come up to like a larger a medium-sized stone on the ground, like your character might like actually like put their leg up on the stone, just like you were talking about on the skull there.
Right.
I want to say one of the first games, or at least first console games to do that, was Shadow of the Colossus, where like your character's legs were much more like kind of like they could be in like individual, like different levels of height. You know, it wasn't just a canned like position where like the legs like have to.
Right. I remember it happening the first time I remember seeing it in like something like that in a game where a person like changes their pose, like if they're on an angle, is Strider.
Oh, but of course in 2D, but
yeah, but that's something that I don't like recall seeing like before that.
Right. Like in 3D animation, it's like you wouldn't call it that for like 2D and you wouldn't call it inverse. I think, am I using the right term? It's I've seen it abbreviated IK. I think it's inverse kinematics or something like that. But like for 2D, that'd just be, you know, a nice touch. But it's like it's actually like a technical thing when it comes to 3D animation. There was $2 super chat from John the Don.
Oh, thank you.
Thank you. And it's Final Vendetta gained a Xbox physical release. I don't know. I know that did it run out already? Today was the last day.
Yeah.
For PS4.
Yeah, I think it ends at midnight.
PS5 and Switch on limited run, I think.
Yeah.
I ordered the PS5 version.
That's when I got to. Man, I watched, like, I hadn't seen it in action. But I watched that stream that
I watched a little bit of the stream.
And the game looks awesome. It looks like it has like King of Fighters sprites, but in a fighting game.
Yeah, I want to say John said something like it's basically like Streets of Rage for the Neo Geo.
Yeah.
But you know, it has a very Streets of Rage food pickup. So,
oh, really?
Which I appreciate, because that's the best healing sound effect of all.
Yes.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. It's so good. Like, you cannot convince me there's a better healing sound. That's not even a game I grew up with as a kid. Like, you know, I mean, that's a game that I've come to appreciate in the past, like what, 6-7 years?
Yeah.
Like that sound effect is that good that I'm not like trying to say like some Nintendo sound effect is actually better, because that sound effect is that good. Gauntlet says, "What's up?" Oh man, Gauntlet has some interesting sounds. I can't think of what that specifically sounds like though. Like, definitely the Genesis Gauntlet 4 has like some voices and stuff. Burrito says, IK is just a way of rigging. You can use IK solvers with a stock animation that never changes foot position. When they change foot position, they link the foot bone to react to the environment's position. More expensive, and developers generally avoid it because it's more work and more performance intensive. It's like definitely something that you don't expect to see in like a JRPG or something like that.
Right.
Or, you know, they kind of have like a janky way of like dealing with like feet on stairs and stuff. Like, man, I cannot think if I've ever seen a game that really does stairs right. You know, that doesn't just treat them like an invisible slope. I've seen something that did stairs really well.
I mean, I feel like, what do you mean, like, even like the first several Castlevanias? Like, I guess that's kind of like a slope.
Well, I'm talking about 3D though.
Oh, okay.
What's wrong, saying that? What's wrong? Like I'm talking 3D though, like where you know ladders were that way for a long time too, where like characters would almost always get out of sync with like where the rungs were.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like I always think of like, you know, the N64 Zelda games and stuff like that. Like you might like start off kind of synced, but you like drift out of sync. I don't think maybe I think Shadow of the Tomb Raider did stairs pretty well, if I remember correctly. Oh, you come up here. You want to say hi again? It's just floating.
I bet you there's that one power up that shoots like has like blades. Yeah, I think it's got like these here. There's definitely a
experience where a character hits each one might feel slow and annoying compared to normal game movement. I mean, you know, there was a Weekender Gamer just mentioned Heavy Rain, which obviously, you know, that, you know, kind of those like cinematic types of games usually do have really sort of heavy, sluggish movement. So
yeah.
it might not work great for, you know, games that are trying to feel snappy. I mean, you know, like, is it possible to like design like an action game, like not like a more of a narrative adventure game, but like an action game where like characters would like actually like walk at the speeds that they would like realistically do in real
I think that'd be impossible almost.
Like it'd be impossible to like make it not be super boring.
Yeah. No, but like, I mean,
I'd be curious to see someone try. Like let's make a game where stuff is like close enough together that like you don't feel like you have to run all the time. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Or like walking feels. Well, I mean, you know what? Like Resident Evil, like I like the first time I play, like especially like the older Resident Evil games, like the first time I played through them, and even often when I replay, like especially if it's been a long time, like I tend to like kind of walk like kind of slowly through those, like in part because okay, I'm trying to be cautious and careful and soak it in, but also because I feel like it just kind of draws me into the atmosphere, like just like kind of like walking slowly through the areas, like rather than just running all the time.
Mm-hmm.
Like I feel like those kinds of games can be, you can a lot of the time kind of move at a normal human pace, and like kind of in horror games, I guess. Am I talking about artist implemented animation or physics-based? I'm talking more about physics-based, but, to be honest, my eye would not be particularly trained at necessarily identifying the difference.
I can't say for you.
Like, for example, I don't know if I heard that Metroid Dread example described as IK. But I don't know if it's just like, if it is like kind of a canned animation or if it's like actually physics based. Like there might be more instances where it's like actually more canned than I realized. There was a $5 super chat from Ashura. Thank you. So I listened to Rainstorm streams to help me sleep, and I found one recently called Very Heavy Rain. My first thought was, dang, they made a you know, when we were staying at Chris's house,
Yeah.
you showed him I forgot about that clip where like, if people want to Google it, what's the clip called? Like, what do they call it? Like, you had a hard time finding it.
What was he called? It's not Jason, but it's the other one.
Sean.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
like near the end of the game. It's near the end of the game, so it's like very spoilers if you care about Heavy Rain spoilers and still haven't played it. But like the main character like gets stuck in this like dramatic calling out of his son going, Sean! And like every time, like not even every time he's supposed to speak, like he just like is on a loop. And like there's other characters speaking and he's like standing up and doing other things. And he's just constantly going, Sean! Sean!
And it keeps like, I think it's actually pretty impressive that it like renders like their proximity in this entire area.
He's like so far away.
Yeah, but
like,
you can hear him in the distance, you know? Like he's so far away. I mean, it's kind of impressive.
Yeah. You know, Mr. Self-Improvement points out, I know you don't play it, but Elder Scrolls Online was one of the first 3D games to inverse kinetics years back. For character fee, I'm still waiting for Final Fantasy 14 to get. You know, something I remember from Final Fantasy 14 1.0 that was so annoying was they had like bad interpolation or something for character names when going up and down slopes. And like the characters would go up and down the slope smoothly. Like the character name would like jitter all over the place. Like I think they fixed that at some point. It's definitely fixed, you know, since 2.0. But that was always like such a weird issue that like that wouldn't have been solved before the game shipped. Also, there was a 1999 super chat.
Dang, thank you.
From Guy Safari. Thank you. Thank you for playing my favorite Sega game and being legit. Also would recommend the 8-way shooting option. Trust me, it's worth checking out. Happy Memorial Day, fellas.
Well, this game is not legit. But I played the first one.
We are legit.
What?
I think is the implementation.
Oh, I thought he was like...
We are legit. Sandy here is legit. Are you legit?
Sandy? Legit to quit?
Yeah.
Speed it up. I feel like I'm missing something here because the timer seems to go faster.
But you know what I've gotten into in the past year, Ashura, or year plus maybe, about a year I'd say. Like I've also for several years now been using like rain, like not like rainstorm sounds, but like I guess like it would be fairly heavy rain that I've used. But I've actually gotten into what I like even more, and I kind of combine it. But what actually makes a bigger difference for me is just having like pedestal fan, like even in the winter, like I just turned it away from me for the winter, and just like run it on high speed. Although one of the fans I got like made a periodic click at one point in its oscillation cycle,
and it ruined it.
Yeah, I couldn't do it. I couldn't do it because it's like, well, the click's coming, and your mind just like latches onto it, and it ruins it. I brought that one to my parents' house, and my parents had a similar fan that didn't make. I mean, it's like the same model of fan, but it didn't make the click. So I brought that one to my house. So I have that one here. And I use it in oscillating mode. And then when I go to my parents' house, I can use the other one, but I just don't have it oscillating. I learned that from our friend Sobo. Because when he came here, he was like, "Oh, do you have a fan? Because I like always sleep with a fan." And so like I borrowed a fan from my parents, and then I was like, I might like that too. And I really like it. It's made a big difference for me.
I mean, it doesn't. There's definitely a point where I did like them, but I haven't used anything in so long. I think that like one of my ex-girlfriend used it a lot, and that's what kind of got me into it.
Well, part of it too is like, you know, if I'm like going to my parents' house, like it also makes it so that I like don't hear like noises that would like, you know, if they were up in the morning before I was or something, you know, I don't hear noises that would disturb me as easily. Or like when the mowers come here, like I will hear them, but I won't hear them as soon. You know, they'll have to be a lot closer for me, you know? So it actually, the bigger thing more than the noise itself is just helping drown out external sounds that might disturb. It definitely helps a lot. Zane's dad says, "The click is coming for you."
You can't sleep because you know it's going to happen.
The Click. I feel like that'd be a great name for a horror movie. The Click.
I would not be surprised if that it exists, but I bet you it's like CLIQUE. Like.
Oh, like a school click?
Yeah.
I'm Googling The Click movie. Oh, this is bringing up
Click with
Adam Sandler. That's what this.
Have you ever seen that?
I think I saw most of it one time, just like in the background at my cousin's house.
It's a weird movie, and then it's like, you know, it's ridiculous, and then like the last like 20 of the minutes of the movie is like super depressing. Because it turns out that like he can't stop it. He's like skipped through his entire life, just like basically in this coma, like fast forwarding through his life, and it like he like dies in the parking lot. Like when he finally stops it, he dies in the parking lot and like tells his daughter like he loves her.
Wow.
It's like suddenly gets really depressing.
Oh wait! I had to scroll down a little bit. It looks like there might be like a Ju-on movie called Click. Maybe? Which would make sense.
This is tough. I'm gonna die here. Again. Oh, he's split in half. He like split right down the middle. How is that not the...
Or maybe it's a Bollywood movie. This is Bollywood MDB.
This is definitely going for like... I wonder if they were inspired by Treasure's like multi-level bosses. Look at this. Now we got...
Sure.
The place is crumbling around me. And we got a wall of spikes coming in behind me.
Oh, and there was a $20 super chat from old Skelvin Knight.
Oh,
saying just because I give you guys you dudes a 20 almost every weekend. I'm replaying Breath of the Wild and watching Joker at the moment. You guys rock, and I love your videos. Wow, that is you can divide your attention a whole heck of a lot better than I can. That's impressive. That's impressive. Breath of the Wild, though, man. I need to replay that.
Oh, come on. It would be nice to be like, I'm gonna replay this 100-hour game.
I mean, it's just that I feel like there's so much more I could get out of it, though. You know?
Yeah. No, I totally agree with you.
But like at the same time, it's like, well, but the sequel's coming. I still am hoping that like that's like a simultaneous launch on like with like Switch 2. Like I'm sure it is going to come to Switch.
Yeah.
There's no doubt about that. But like it's been so long since the previous Breath of the Wild at this point that it's like I can't get a lot of enthusiasm for playing a sequel to it on the same hardware at this point.
Oh, I totally agree. And that's
I mean, I will if Switch 2 isn't announced and by the time that game comes out, like I'll just play it on Switch, whatever. I'll play it day one.
Yeah.
But like it's just like so much time has passed that like I'm looking for more.
Like no way.
I'm looking for more of an advancement.
Yeah.
Out of the next game that you couldn't really get with just the same part.
Yeah.
You know. So
Scepter Sever says 1-2 Switch 2.
Long. Huh?
Scepter Sever says 1-2 Switch 2.
Or Super 1-2 Switch. There was also notification that Slidweiss.
Slidweiss. You know what's really funny is like, and I couldn't stop hearing it. Welcome. Is that like the main villain in Sonic Forces is voiced by Grimoire Weiss.
Oh really?
Yeah. That's like one voice actor every time I hear him, I would like they could be known for something else.
Yeah.
And I can't not think of Grimoire Weiss.
Well, I mean, it's a very distinctive voice.
Yes.
He also did was it Caius in Final Fantasy 13
2? I mean, he's done like a lot of stuff.
I want to say he's like Kane and like any voiced Final Fantasy 4 stuff like Dissidia.
I mean, you could, yeah. I mean, I'm sure that he's like in almost every game that has voice.
Yeah, I don't. those are the ones that I know of, though.
If this game had voice acting, he'd voice this guy with the eye patch.
No, I can't see him. I can't see him being that guy.
I can just like imagine that voice coming out of his mouth.
How often do you think of Kaine's rant to Grimoire Weiss that plays every time you turn on the game?
A lot, actually. I mean, like the first time I played it, it really takes you by surprise. It's just like, what?
It's like, okay, this is a different tone of Square Enix game.
Yeah. Rob F, I did not pick this one up locally. I'm playing this one on an EverDrive. I played the first one was picked up locally. I don't know what
for someone else.
Yeah. But out of that same batch, like I bought, MUSHA Aleste.
For yourself.
Yeah. And Bare Knuckle 3.
Japanese version.
Yeah.
Good prices.
Yeah.
Oh, sounds like the MLiG Game Club vote is live for the for the month of June on the Discord channel. The theme appears to be epic 7th gen shooters.
Ooh.
Which is Halo ODST, Gears of War 3, BioShock, and Call of Duty Modern Warfare 2. I wish I was prepared to join you on Halo ODST or Gears of War 3, but I only just a few months ago played Halo 1, so I'm not ready for ODST yet. And I still haven't played Gears of War 1, but I did buy Gears of War 3 in this recent game pickups.
Is this all like ending credits, or is this just like story?
I don't know. I think they're saying stuff. Wait, that says art, so maybe it is credits.
ODST is a prequel to.
I still want to play them in order, though. Order of release.
It takes place between 2 and 3, but it has some. I guess it has some.
So then, in that case, I should.
But it's really
still
like
play 2 anyway.
I don't know what. I mean, I don't recall if it has anything like a further flashback. Oh, that was it.
The credits are of the people who made it and notes left by them.
Oh.
I love the name Victor Kai.
Yeah. Oh.
Like, I always think of it as like a person.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like it's I always think like Victor Island.
Yeah. Victor Tokai.
I remember one time we were chatting with John and Audie, and like some Vic Tokai game came up, and John was like, "Oh yeah, didn't Mr. Tokai bring that game over to America?"
Yeah.
Like thanks, Mr. Tokai.
They should. I know Vic Tokai is not around anymore, but they should. They should call it. They should make a game called Vic Tokai Watch. And it's like a gacha type game with Vic Tokai characters.
There was a $5 Canadian from Buddy Scotch. Thank you. Do flat screen TVs with component inputs provide good enough quality to skip a scaler, or do they have the same issues as composite processing? Generally, yes, in terms of like input lag. 480i processing is going to have a lot of input lag on a modern TV. Of course, if you're buying a new TV, like is that gone by now? Like my dad bought a TV with component inputs like maybe 3 years ago. But like, I think that's going to be going. Even components going to be going away pretty soon. Even composites starting to go away. But the root problem in terms of lag is going to be 480i is going to have a lot of input lag, and 240p is almost certainly going to have the same amount of lag. Because it's not really going to be handled in any particularly special way. And the image quality is not going to be that great. Like even a RetroTink 2X makes a pretty major difference, honestly. It's just 480p, but you have circumvented the TV kicking in its deinterlacing feature, which is on almost all TVs. That's going to kick in even if it's 240p, and that's going to add a lot of lag. So a RetroTink 2X gets you to 480p. You're going to have better picture quality and much less lag. The only thing with the 2X though is 480i is not going to look too hot. due to Bob deinterlacing, but it will be low lag. But definitely don't get that if you have an IPS LCD, because those tend to have problems with Bob deinterlacing. And it'll cause some temporary flicker retention. So like the Retrode 5X is easily, like, it's not even close. Like for 480i content, easily the best thing out there. But if you're mostly looking at 240p content, like, you know, OSSC or Retrode 2X would do very well for you if the Retrode 5X was too much for you. But the 5X is, you know, super amazing for 240p as well. But yeah, it's if it has component input, it's still not going to be as good as a dedicated game scaler in terms of picture quality or input. Like, even if you thought the picture quality was good enough, I would still recommend the scaler just to circumvent the input.
I'm just gonna play
but don't I mean, if you're coming off of our old videos, don't look into the FrameMeister, because I mean, it's still a fine device, but it's, you know, there are better now. Especially, I mean, the Retrode 5X is really a full-on replacement and successor to FrameMeister. You know, it is the first device since the FrameMeister to have comparable. To compete with its deinterlacing quality, and in my opinion, surpass it. And of course, it has a good bit less lag as well. Handles 240p even better. FrameMeister's still good, but since it's out of print, it's not worth the price that people are asking.
I'm just playing this first level, and then I'm gonna call it a night. So I wanna see if I can talk to my wife about our trip.
Yeah. Doesn't the FrameMeister have a certain issue? If it did get a patch for after 4K TV started becoming common. It had like a compatibility issue with some 4K TVs and devices, where like the screen would like turn pink or something. And that was later that was fixed with a firmware update, or at least mostly fixed, I think. It's possible there may be still some French cases. I think it was mostly an incompatibility issue with the deep color mode on the TVs. So you could fix it by disabling the deep color on that input. But generally, FrameMeister should work fine with 4K TVs. But it's just that there's no reason to seek one out today, because it's not worth the price of a, you know, no longer produced product. Especially when, you know, I assume the Retrode 5X is still available. Is it?
Yeah,
I haven't looked into it in a long time.
Yeah, I think that it's just readily available, but I'm very easily be wrong.
I'm gonna go to the shop right now, because, you know, I keep recommending it to people, but I'm like, I don't really know. Can you buy one? Yeah, it looks like you sure can. Did he ever make any more of the minis? I was really hoping he would. The mini is out of stock. It's been out of stock for a while, I think.
Yeah, I mean, I'm assuming that's probably like the least priority. It's probably the thing that sells the least, although...
I don't know. Like, I would recommend that over the Pro, to be honest, because it's cheaper. It uses cables that everyone has, and, you know, the 2X Pro is pretty similar in price to the OSSC. It's basically the same price, I think. You know, the
speed.
With the OSSC, you gain SCART, with the 2X Pro, you gain composite nest video. So it kind of just depends on your needs there. But the OSSC would be sharper than the 2X Pro. But like, if my opinion would be, of course, I mean, he's the one that knows what sells. Well, my opinion would be that the 2X Mini would be like the 2X product to like focus on.
Yeah.
That's just my opinion, because I think it's such a tremendously handy and simple device. I love just how easy it is to use. It's like so easy to recommend to people who are like, you know, like focused on like N64 or something like that.
Mm-hmm. I don't know. It's been, I mean, I wonder if he just even gets like a lot of requests for that stuff even now.
I don't know.
I mean, if he's like putting in orders.
But like, I just feel like the 2X Mini, like that is the lowest cost scaling device that like Definitely. I would even recommend, period.
Yeah.
Like of any upscaling device. Like that's the lowest, and that's why I think it's a good product to make available if it is available. Because like it makes a massive difference. Like even if you're just using composite, like it looks, the composite on that looks so much better than composite directly plugged into an HDTV. Like a lot better. Like it's a huge difference. So I mean that's why I think it's a good product to have around. I hope it's not abandoned, but like I say, he knows what sells. But I've recommended it to a lot of people.
Yeah, there hasn't been any OSSC Pro news in a while. I wonder if it's still coming this year.
Yeah, I mean it's so hard to say with the availability of everything, you know.
Yeah,
I'd like to see it.
Yeah,
I mean, there's a lot of exciting things that people are working on. Have we had any updates from like what Pixel FX's next things anytime recently?
No, but you know what? I think I might see Dan next Sunday.
Oh.
Speaking of which, like I won't be here next Sunday because like I have to.
Oh yeah, that's right.
I have to go to Indianapolis to do a shoot video at an event for work. So I'll be there. Well, everyone here is on the stream is having fun. I'm sure it'll be plenty of fun though. But I think since I'm going to be out there, I'm going to see if I can go like earlier in the day and and maybe have lunch with Dan or something like that.
That'd be fun.
Yeah, because I was out there shooting video for that event. Some interviews with some people that are receiving an award. I was there the other day, but he was unable to meet up. He was, I think he was like hanging out with other members of the team.
Oh, they were visiting, huh?
Yeah. Oh, and he went somewhere else to visit.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah, that'll be cool. So, I mean, I'm sure that if I am like privy to any information, I won't be able to share it, but with like on the stream or anything like that. But, anyways, I think that's gonna do it. I guess we are, we started a little bit late and we're finishing a little bit early, but
well, not early.
Yeah, remember when we said we were gonna like finish like at like 10:30 or something like that? Like when we moved our time to like.
No, we said we were going to wrap up by 11.
Yeah,
we were going until like 12:30, 1 o'clock, right?
Yeah, it seems like so long ago now. But anyways, I hope everyone has a good week. Thank you to everybody who donated tonight. And yeah, hope everyone has a good week. And Try will see you next week, and I'll see you the week after that.
That's right.
All right. Good night, everybody. Take care.
Good night.